This wine is one of the most divisive Chardonnays from California. This wine is a Chardonnay made by one of Argentina's most respected producers. These two wines see almost the exact same amount of new oak, so my question is, does that mean they're gonna taste similar? The joy of wine. I'm gonna start out with the Rombauer here. 37% of Rombauer Chardonnay sees new oak, both French and American. A lot of people that I've spoken to, when they hear the words oaky Chardonnay, Rombauer is the wine that they think about. Been a long time since I've had it though. First sniff, yeah, it just smells like fucking butter. It's kind of insane. Butter, and more butter. I don't know, a little bit of spice too, but I mean, it's just, it is what it is. That's Rombauer. Take a look. Pale gold, crystal clear. There's a little bit more fruit now, kind of like a baked peach, maybe just like a hint of something citrusy, but still so dominated by that butter and like kind of baking spice. I mean, that's really what this wine is all about. Rich. There's some really good acidity in the back of my mouth. And my mouth is watering. On the palate, there is some more fruit. You do get more of that like peach, pear, maybe some citrus. Assuming that back end acidity has a lot to do with that, kind of brings out a little bit more of the fruit. At the same time though, there's still just that really rich mouthfeel and plenty of butter there. More balanced on the palate than on the nose, and I'd say like a medium finish. So this is a dry wine. It is full-bodied, and I'm gonna leave the ratings for the end on this again when we do a side-by-side with the two wines. So, I mean, been years since I've had Rombauer, but it's about what I remember. There's just crazy amounts of butter on the nose, some spice. Yeah, it's Rombauer. It is what it is. Now we'll move on to Enemigo. Now, Enemigo is from the Catena family. They're much more known for their Malbecs and the Catena line of wines. 35% of this wine sees new oak. First sniff, definitely not as bold and aromatic as the Rombauer right off the bat. There is some fruit to it, maybe like a peach-ish, and there is like a subtle kind of spice to it, but definitely not that like big, fat, buttery note. Color, I'm gonna say pale gold. Again, crystal clear. That seems to open it up some more. Now I'm getting more like green apple, still that kind of white peach. Definitely don't have that giant butter note hanging over everything. There is some kind of subtle spice, but this is more about the fruit. More acidity, almost like a brininess or salinity kind of thing going on in the back end here. It's still pretty rich. It has some real weight to it, but not as over the top as the Rombauer is. Hard to call it full-bodied after the Rombauer, but it is full-bodied. The acidity is kind of accompanied by this salinity, so it's like really refreshing at the same time that you have that roundness and richness. It is a dry wine. I'm gonna say full-bodied, high acidity. I like how they show restraint on this wine compared to, you know, the other one. All right, so let's pull it up and do a little side-by-side here. Nose to nose. These wines are worlds apart. The Rombauer, it's all about the butter, it's all about the oak, the butterscotch, baking spice, whereas Enemigo, a little bit more purity of fruit, it's a little brighter. The oak is there, but it's not the star of the show. Rombauer, super rich, super creamy, has that butter. It's like if you just like sauteed a slice of apple and butter, something like that. And this, brighter, a little more white peach and brininess, which is really fun. Some of the reasons these are so different. Rombauer is from Carneros. The Enemigo is from high elevation Mendoza. Another thing is the size of the barrels that they're using. So like I said, this is 37% new oak. This is 35% new oak, so really close in number. But the Enemigo is using 500-gallon casks, whereas Rombauer, I couldn't find the exact number online anywhere, but I'm assuming that it's the size of that Jameson barrel you see sitting outside of your favorite Irish pub. Now, Rombauer, scale of 1 to 5, how much do I like this wine? I could see wanting to have this with some really good like butternut squash risotto or something like that, or butternut squash ravioli, but this isn't something that I really want to drink otherwise, so that's why I'm going 3. Would I buy it again? I'm gonna say maybe. And then Enemigo, scale 1 to 5. You know, I've had a bunch of different vintages of this wine over the years, and this is not my favorite bottle of Enemigo I've ever had. I'm gonna go with 4. Would I buy it again? For sure, yeah. So 3 for the Rombauer, 4 for the Enemigo. If we're having a competition, the winner of the day is El Enemigo Chardonnay from Mendoza, Argentina, the Catena family. Still a great Chardonnay. Also a great Chardonnay if you want something that tastes like Rombauer. Rombauer is the wine to buy in that case. And yeah, that's that. Wines 7 and 8 are in the book. If you want a copy of 100 Wines, A Guide to Building Your Palate, you can get it at the link down in the description. I'll probably throw a QR code somewhere around here. You can get it in my bio. Follow me on Instagram at 100 Wines Book. There's all sorts of places you can check me out and check this book out, but definitely get yourself a copy if it sounds like something you could use. We got, 92 more wines to go to get this filled out, so who knows what I'll be tasting down the road. Make sure you subscribe, click the bell, leave a comment, do the things, and I will see you next week.